When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
Doug.
Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now, we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Zaslow, you're going to get some of the most glorious Greg Cody that you can get today because he's late.
Yeah, where is he?
And he's going to complain about traffic that everyone else also had but managed to get in here on time, even though we know the traffic is bad.
Yeah, here's the thing I don't understand with him. We've been through this before, and traffic's traffic. Like, it sucks, and I get it, but why doesn't he make sure that he never runs into this issue and leave, like, 20 minutes earlier than he normally does?
His son got in on time and comes also from Broward County.
Well, I was late, but yes, I was able. I leave early enough that even if I hit traffic, I still get here at least a little early.
Both of you are coming from Broward. Billy is coming from a zip code called Casa Carajo as well. I don't know who's coming from further. Who's coming in further? Because at least Chris can come Turnpike and can take it straight down on the Turnpike. Billy, who's got the longer drive, you or Chris?
Distance-wise or time-wise? Because here's the thing. On sunny days, I prefer a rainy day to a sunny day. Because sunny day where there's no clouds, I'm driving straight into the sun. So I'm driving due east, and the sun is right in everybody's face. Everybody drives slower. Everybody drives slower on a day that's not overcast because they're driving. If you're going on 836,
you think people drive slower on sunny days than on rainy days?
On the 836, absolutely, guys. You don't know. I'm telling you, it sounds ridiculous, but on the 836, on a sunny day that's not overcast, where the sun is out and the sun is just rising, you're staring straight into the sun, and everyone drives a lot slower than on a day that's like cloudy, not rainy, cloudy. Rainy days is a whole nother thing.
It's really nice out today. Traffic's going to suck.
That is absolutely the truth. You guys don't get it. That's the truth because, like, the path that I take, the 836, it's not like northeast, southeast. There's a little curve. It's due east, straight into the way the sun is rising. So you're looking directly into the sun. So everyone drives slow. Also, the airport, I don't understand. Everyone drives slower next to the airport, I guess, to look at the planes taking off or whatever, and they keep making the walls taller and taller so people can't see the planes and slow down, but people keep slowing down next to the airport for some reason.
Maybe to see if people are boating.
Don't get me started.
Boating in that, like, next to the airport, like the lake across the highway from the airport.
By that, like, office park that they have there? Yeah, people practice crew there.
That's what I mean. It looks like they're doing Olympic racing.
Yeah, have you seen crew, crew? Zaz,
you asking me if I know what crew is? Yeah, I know what crew is.
I don't know. Everybody doesn't know.
Yeah, I know what crew is.
Okay, I don't know.
I think that Billy sounds like he might be saying something ridiculous, but if you know South Florida drivers, they might drive more recklessly in rain than they do in sun. It certainly feels that way.
No, they drive less recklessly in rain. When it's a rainy day, it's like, wow, this is like the safest it's ever been.
Yeah, this is what he's trying to explain, which makes no sense.
I'm telling you, got it. Look. Sleep over at my house the next time that we see it's going to be a sunny day and just ride in with me so you can go straight east into the sun.
I'm not sleeping at your house.
Do we know where Jeremy slept last night?
We know, but what's he going to tell us? Very little sleeping involved.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
The daily chaos that we have around here is amusing in its sloppiness. Please put on the picture-in-picture, Lewis, at some point, the entrance here so we can watch a haggard, crazed Greg Cody run in late and then put all his stuff together noisily when he gets here because he's, again, not on time while everyone else got here on time. But I just want to show you guys Just before we started here, Ethan ran in here with great urgency and handed me some show preparation. I want to show this to you guys, what the show preparation is, because he came in here and he handed me this piece of paper, and it's got nothing on it. Like, it's got literally no writing on it, nothing. It's a blank sheet of paper.
A lot of room for thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he came here with great urgency and handed me a piece of paper. Like, I think this is something that happens.
I see something on there.
In production, yeah, I don't
Daz,
see.
you see something on there?
Maybe a blacklight situation?
There could be something there.
Yeah.
I see nothing on this piece of paper that he handed me. He came in here with great purpose.
He seems to be walking back to the printer. Maybe he grabbed the wrong sheet.
I don't know what he was trying to give me with urgency, but I can't tell anybody what it is.
He's done the last 6 months.
It's not the first time that has happened. And then he complains that I'm not using what he gives me. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with what it is you've given me. I don't know when Greg will be here. We've got bad traffic. But Mike Ryan has given this UM-FSU game one of the highest honors he can give. For the Notre Dame-Miami game, he did a 5-hour live stream as part of his new ownership situation away from here, where he is a co-owner, not a co-founder. You're not a founder because it was founded before you got there, Mike. But you're doing a 2.5-hour live stream today to preview the UM-FSU game?
Fall Brawl, Dano. Yeah, live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, youtube.com/official Canes Insight. Peter Rees, D-Money, and myself will be previewing the big game. Thank you for finally mentioning one of the best rivalries in college football this week. I appreciate it.
Well, I do want to talk about it, and one of the things I want to talk about is that ESPN did advertising for this game and calls it a rivalry of history and hate. And I don't think it's hate. I think it's history. They've got a lot of history, but I think that Bobby Bowden lost so much and was so lovable in losing that Miami doesn't hate FSU, and I'm not sure FSU hates Miami, though they might have reasons to, but Miami's not FSU's biggest rival, is it?
No, Miami's in an interesting place, I'll readily admit. Miami's biggest rivals, whether it be Florida, Florida State, Notre Dame, they all have bigger rivals, so Miami's, always...
I think FSU's third on that list that you just mentioned.
Always like a weird outlier as a private institution. But no, we dislike each other, no doubt. As someone that travels to this game routinely, FSU fans don't like Miami fans don't like FSU. But you're right, this rivalry, because of Bobby Bowden's approach really to it and how complimentary
and because they lost all the time.
Yeah, how complimentary he has been to Miami Hurricanes teams when they would beat him, more built on mutual respect. And keep in mind, FSU didn't have to routinely play Miami, and they kept Miami on the schedule. That's part of why there's more animosity towards Florida, because Florida decided they didn't want the smoke anymore.
I feel like that's an indictment on Miami not being anyone's biggest rival. Yeah. And I'm not even saying, I don't know who to blame here. I want to blame somebody, but they got to be someone's biggest rival. Like North Carolina, they have NC State.
I hear you. I don't know. FAU is FIU's biggest rival, right? Yeah. But FIU probably puts Miami on a pedestal.
It's a good point. If you say UF's got maybe 4 other teams ahead of Miami. You say FSU, Florida's definitely ahead of Miami. And if you say Notre Dame,
they got USC, they got Michigan. Yeah, it's kind of strange, but I mean, Miami's a strange program.
Tell the people where they specifically can find you and at what time if they want maximum UM-FSU coverage, because it's not just you're doing live streams gas bagging. You're grabbing a bunch of guests and you're doing an intensely focused one-subject show for 2.5 hours, and that's not something we really do around here. So if they want that, where can they get it?
Well, you can follow us on our socials at Canes Insight. You can watch the live stream there on X, but you can also subscribe to our YouTube page. We'll be live at 2 p.m. Eastern. That is youtube.com/official Canes Insight. I appreciate that, Dan.
I think it's false advertising to say that it's a rivalry of history and hate, because if you were going to hate FSU players, Deion Sanders would be one that you would hate, but the memory that Miami has is Cleveland Gary running over him at the goal line in the first game of the season, winning 31-0. They'd have to beat you once in a while in ways that really hurt to make it something that has hate or lack class while losing, which isn't something they do either.
No, not really. Again, you're right. It's a little bit based more on mutual respect. It's also a weird rivalry in that the better team wins it, like almost all the time. There is only one time in the history of this rivalry that there was a big-time upset where one team was clearly worse than the other one, and that came in the 1970s. Very strange rivalry. You won't see results like Michigan-Ohio State happen last year. It's weird. Better team usually wins this one.
When I was going to the University of Miami, Florida was their biggest rival. I don't know who Notre Dame would call their biggest rival, but for a time it was Miami because of the intensity of those things and because of the way Bobby Bowden always carried himself with grace. He was on so much with us after losing that he made it impossible to hate FSU, even as Steve Spurrier was calling it in Equator Time Free Shoes University, because they were cheating by giving their players shoes, allegedly. But that is not a program that I think of as having something that Miami has bile toward. And when I ask you, the most memorable time that FSU has beaten Miami, what does that look like? Because the season that we were talking about earlier this week, the 1984 season where the Hurricanes won their first championship, they lost the first game of that season 28-3 to Florida. And Florida was absolutely a school that there was hatred. Mike's saying there's hatred between the fan bases here. He's been in the stadium. He's leaving sad, painted orange and green. And Florida State did represent it one time. A low point in Miami history because of how they beat Miami when it was on probation 57-0, but they also represented
47-0?
Whatever it was.
It was bad.
They also represented, though, Miami's return to greatness when Ken Dorsey and Jeremy Shockey announced a year or two after that, oh, no, they've closed that gap with Butch Davis and FSU.
That's my favorite game in the history of this rivalry. This is, I'm about to turn 40, but I think like the most painful stretch, because Miami has no doubt gotten the better of FSU in this rivalry, at least in my lifetime.
Right. When is there an instance that Miami had everything on the line and FSU ruined it? Like, is there that instance?
Probably the early 90s. I'll go back and check.
But it was Miami winning those games.
Strangely enough, the most painful stretch of Miami results where the most heartbreaking results happened was kind of like when Jameis Winston was there. Where
Block at the Rock, right?
Yeah, where Miami had inferior teams and had decent-sized leads.
And FSU, Jameis was still on that run where they were unbeaten, right?
Mm-hmm. And there was another strange one. I think it was the largest top 10 spread in the history of the sport at the time. Miami was number 7 in 2013. This was a Stephen Morris, Stacey Coley team. And they played FSU, and the spread was 21.5. And FSU just totally smashed Miami 41-14. Strange rivalry.
Dad, you good? Can we get you anything?
I'm a little winded.
So some air.
Yeah, give me some air. You know, it's crazy. I apologize being late. It's the government shutdown. I come out of I start driving here.
Democrat shutdown.
All the highways, all the roads are closed. I jogged 30 miles to get here. Brothers and sisters, strap on the tortoise shell and get in the basement, check the sardine supply, because there's going to be a total eclipse today.
That was a sentence.
Nothing was happening. Nothing. There was the roads were dead. I had to run here. I don't know about how'd you all get here?
You make no sense.
It was wild.
It's just rambling and incoherent.
Why am I in the basement?
You have to. The government shut down. The roads are closed.
Tell me about it.
Put on the tortoise shell.
Look at the eclipse is coming.
There it is.
It's crazy.
Greg, gather
Shield
yourself,
your eyes.
please. Just gather yourself, okay?
Yeah.
If you're going to get here late, okay, do me the favor of making sense when you arrive,
I'll tell you what. Like I said, I'm winded, but you're entirely right. The Gators were always the big rival down here. I mean, that was the original rival.
Back on track.
I think FSU started, for me, in the early 90s, Bowden, all the wide rights. There was some great. I think there's a stat where FSU and Miami once had like 5 or 6 meetings in a row where both were in the top 5. I mean, it was an elite rivalry.
Well, Miami had a run, but the Bobby Bowden run of, I think, 20 straight years or something absurd, finishing in the top 5. I think
so good.
It was, but without winning only once, though. Like it was some absurd stretch of legitimately 2 decades finishing a season in the top 5. They've never been able to get back to that, even though Jameis Winston, I maintain, is the best freshman quarterback I've ever seen in college football.
The history of this rivalry is interesting, but I am kind of pumped up about this year's incarnation of the rivalry because of that Alabama result that makes this game really, really confusing. Was that game more about FSU? I kind of fall on...
I think it was more about Alabama.
That game was more about Alabama. Like, to the eye as it was happening, Alabama looked unprepared, and that, even to, like, the layman, that's hard to do when you're watching a game live from broadcast TV angles. But this line has already done some funky stuff. It opened at 4.5, inflated all the way to 6.5, back down to 4.5. This is Miami's first road game of the season. Doak was electric against Alabama. It's tough to win in the ACC. Miami's going to have to get over that hurdle.
You know, I haven't really thought about life insurance until recently. Tony on the show just became a dad last year, and he told me one of the first things he did was get coverage. At first, I'm like, dude, you're barely sleeping. You're changing diapers, and now you're talking about life insurance? But then he explained it. What would happen if something happened to him? The mortgage, childcare, bills. And then it hit me that protecting your family's future means you actually get to live more in the present. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. Just answer a few health questions, and in as little as 10 minutes, you can get a quote, same-day coverage, without ever leaving your house. And we're not talking about pocket change here, folks. You get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policies even start as low as $2 a day, billed monthly. Over 3 million families have already trusted Ethos, and Business Insider named them the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. That kind of peace of mind, honestly, it's priceless. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/Dan. That's ETHOS.com/Dan. Application time may vary, rates may vary. Sample rate for a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Hey, Jeremy, old buddy, old pal.
Hey, Mike.
I want to talk to you about Miller Lite. You and I have bonded over these last few weeks talking about our shared love of Miller Lite.
That's right.
A great partner of our show for practically its entire existence.
It's been a partner of this show since I was 10 years old.
And it's been around for 50 years, and they've been a part of our show for almost 20. We're approaching incredible partner status with Miller Lite.
I mean, to think that people were celebrating at my bar mitzvah with Miller Lite as they were a partner of this show is pretty incredible.
You're talking about the moments that are made better by making those times, those special times, Miller time. Jeremy, there's nothing like cracking open Miller Lite with your crew. This football season, it's especially true. Whether it's a touchdown you didn't see coming or just arguing about fantasy lineups you already know you're going to lose, Miller Lite has been the taste you can depend on for 50 years. Brewed for flavor with simple ingredients, rich toffee notes, that iconic golden color, and here's a kicker, Jeremy.
What's that?
It's just 96 calories.
I still can't believe that. We say it every week. I can't believe it.
It's just 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. It's the original light beer since 1975 and still hitting different 5 decades later. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
You ever try to name all your financial accounts and their balances, 401ks, investments, properties? I can barely remember what I had for lunch, let alone all that stuff. That's why I started using Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one finance tool that pulls everything together, your accounts, budgets, goals, into one clean dashboard on your phone or laptop. And let me tell you, it was a wake-up call. I found a 401k from some job I forgot existed, and it wasn't some small change. Ended up being a nice little chunk of change there for the boy. I realized that I had cash just sitting there, doing nothing in my investments. Not as smart as I thought it was. Monarch makes all that obvious and actually feels doable. No spreadsheets, no hopping between apps, just a real clear view of my money. You can even share with your partner or financial advisor. No more wait. Let's see how much we spent on that coffee or that takeout. Monarch puts everything on the table, literally. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code Dan at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code Dan.
Dan Le Batard.
A woman who was out swimming with her friends is believed to have been swallowed whole by a 13-foot shark without any of her friends noticing. That's the weirdest part about that story. You're swimming with friends, you're having a good time, and then all of a sudden, people are looking around and go, where's Shelly? Like, nobody screamed?
Every friend group has a Shelly, though, that if they go missing because a shark ate them whole, you wouldn't notice.
Classic Shelly.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Stugotz.
She went quietly, apparently. If I'm swallowed whole by a shark, you're going to know it.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
A couple of things that I want to say. I do not trust the University of Miami yet on the road, even though I believe they have great physical advantages in this game. I believe they are physically, just from, obviously it's an optics test, it's an eye test, but I believe that they have a good deal more size than FSU. This is, as Mike mentioned, first road game of the year for Miami. Miami's 15-2 at Hard Rock Stadium since the start of 2023. They're 6-7 away from home. Although I believe this is the best and the most balanced of the teams that they've had during that stretch. 6-7 away from home is hard, and you just saw what happened to FSU when it went to Virginia, because road games are very difficult. These are still kids. They're kids learning how to play football, and road games are hard. I think Miami's going to have a problem with Robinson, FSU's 6'6 receiver, who did in the last game something I've never seen in football before. Lost the game, and the way that he lost the game is they were going to tie it after Virginia went up 8 with the 2-point conversion. Robinson gets a perfectly thrown pass to him at the goal line. Perfectly thrown, right in his hands. Bobbles it for a full 10 yards. Looks like a catch. Ruled a catch on the field. They go to replay. Not a catch. He bobbled it for 10 yards, and if he had been 6'3 instead of 6'6, that would have been the ability to tie that game. Because he's 6'6", he bobbled it for a full 10 yards, and his strides are longer than most. He's a very good receiver.
Yeah,
Mike.
I think Deuce Robinson and Darrell Jackson, who was with Miami before, are probably two of the players that you look at that FSU roster and say, maybe you're a little too. These are guys that can play for Miami right now. Miami has a little bit more talent. That was a hell of a throw by Castellanos. He doesn't do the yacht.
Is that Castellanos?
No, he goes Castellanos, even though he's Cuban.
I don't think he gets to do that. I don't think he gets to do that.
Really?
No, it's Castellanos.
It's Castellanos.
Yeah, he goes Castellanos, but he's been more consistent throwing the football. I am curious to see. Gus Malzahn and FSU like to run outside, and they've done so very effectively. They're one of the best rushing teams in the nation. When Florida climbed back into that game in that third quarter against Miami, they found success running to the outside. When Alabama played Florida State, they had a nose tackle trying to set the edge. That's not the way you go about this. Miami is fast. Miami has the stuff that travels. Defense and a running game. This is going to be Miami's toughest test in terms of an offense that they're going up against. I'm really curious to see it. You mentioned Deuce Robinson, though. I'd counter that with saying most people don't know Xavier Lucas plays on this team right now because the broadcast never features him because he erases the side of the field that he is defending the opposing wide receiver on. Notre Dame's got good wide receivers. You wouldn't know it from watching that game because Xavier Lucas, the transfer from Wisconsin that Wisconsin's suing Miami over, has been dynamite.
I think Carson Beck still does have some things to prove, okay? The Gator defense is exceptional, but he went 0 for 7 with an interception on passes longer than 10 yards against him, okay? 9 of his 17 passes were behind the line of scrimmage. So he has something to prove. But Miami, even though FSU lost to Virginia, Miami will show me something defensively if what I've seen so far bears out and is true. If on the road they can shut down Robinson and have the speed side to side that made those championship Miami teams great, where you can't get to the outside on them because their defensive linemen are too fast, specifically Ruben Bain, who I believe is a top 5 pick. Mm-hmm. If he is healthy, I believe that Ruben Bain is an unblockable menace, that his size, his stature, and his low to the ground make it so that is absolutely a pro prospect. The best one I have seen on the defensive edge from them since Calais Campbell, where you see it right away on the field. I've seen it up the middle from them for a ton, right? Russell Maryland, Warren Sapp, you had Jimmy Jones, you had a bunch of guys, Cortez Kennedy, up the middle. But on the edges, Miami hasn't had a lot of those. Like, they've had like a Rusty Medeiros who doesn't translate to the pros, a Bill Hawkins who gets first round but doesn't translate to the pros. Ruben Bain translates to the pros. If that guy stays healthy, that guy will be doing that for 10 years on every level you see him on. He's not a blockable person.
He's weird. He's like Aaron Donald in that people are impressed by his body, even though he's very undersized for the position in terms of prototypes, guys on the edge that get drafted high. He's only like really 6'2". But his body sticks out still because he is so stout. His arms are like thighs. He's got such power and speed.
A little bit of a bummer that game day's not, that like they made a U-turn and they're not doing, like the Canes 2 games in a row They would have had game day on site.
Two games in 3 weeks.
FSU screwed
the
that up.
FSU conspiracy theory is that Kirk Herbstreit's afraid to go to Tallahassee, even though he's on the call.
What did he say about them 2 years ago?
He kept the belief among FSU fans is that Kirk Herbstreit was really the chief propagandist working for ESPN.
Of them missing the playoff?
To keep them out of the CFP. Again, he's on the game broadcast. College Game Day, 100% can confirm, happen to know. They were 100% going to Tallahassee.
I happen to know that too.
Happen to know? Wait a minute. Happen to know?
Yeah.
There's a happen to know situation?
But two of us.
Oh my God, he knows. He happens to know. Come, everyone. Come and listen. Happens to know. He happens to know. Well informed.
100% they were going to go to Tallahassee, had FSU taking care of business against a spooky Virginia team. Instead, they're going to go to Tuscaloosa, which kind of deserves it because College Game Day tries to tell the best story. Keep in mind, Vanderbilt upset Alabama. Diego Pavia's got a Heisman campaign right now.
And last year, the Vanderbilt game came immediately following the Alabama win over Georgia, and it's the same, order of events this year.
Agree.
It's a good story.
It's a good call by Game Day.
It's the best story to tell, and the main broadcast team is going to be in Tallahassee anyways. But Pavia, Vanderbilt is smoking teams. It's a 10.5 point spread. Vengeance on their mind. They try to tell the best stories.
You know about that, Diego Pavia?
I do. He is Jessica's September Heisman frontrunner.
What is the conspiracy? They blew the game. Like they had it in control. Lee Corso is going to be honored at the game. We're going to have a little possible Lee Corso College Game Day reunion. Like 5 minutes after we just saw him, like the guy that graduates high school and then is back a year later.
Wow, so you're anti-Lee Corso, huh?
I'm not anti-Lee Corso.
Like
I'm just saying FSU ruined this moment.
Sounds like it to me.
They blew it. It was right there for them. It was there for the taking. They were going to have College Game Day come. Lee Corso is going to be there, and they blew it.
No, they
beat Virginia.
They did blow it, but you don't pivot away from Miami FSU just because they lost a tough game at Virginia.
Yeah, you do.
Such a homer.
Yeah,
No,
why?
They did.
Listen,
They just had Miami 2 weeks
They
ago.
literally pivoted.
the play, but you don't. You shouldn't.
But they did.
Okay, I know, but you shouldn't. It was a bad mistake by ESPN.
The government-
First you said you don't.
Yeah.
At Tallahassee is the perfect way to honor Lee Corso. Okay, he's associated with FSU. He was
They've
born,
kinda honored
he was
him a
born
lot.
in Miami.
You kind of nailed it.
You say the association. I saw, this bothered me. I saw at the Notre Dame-Arkansas game that Lou Holtz was wearing Arkansas gear, and it looked weird to me. He was an honorary captain. He flipped the coin out there. He did coach there for a while before he went to Notre Dame, but it looked wrong to me to have him in Arkansas gear. I'd like to interview you about your politics, Lou. You surprised me.
Walking around the orange sea with a crown royal. That's somebody else's bit. No. So.
Does he have like an impediment that we're making fun of?
It's a lisp.
Oh, you know what? He's fair game.
I was asking. I don't know.
I'm curious, actually.
We voted for this to be fair game.
I had a bad reaction. I was ashamed of myself the other day. I'm going to debut a segment here at some point today. Shameful admission I'm going to make from yesterday's baseball games. But I have another shameful admission that's just, I didn't know it was in me, and I was surprised to learn that it was in me. I'm sitting in an airplane, and the pilot starts talking.
What class were you sitting in?
You're in an airplane yesterday?
No.
It's a quick flight somewhere and back?
Not yesterday.
Jeremy?
I was just in an airplane. This
Private
is
jet was in the shop.
Pilot in the G6 just turned to you instead of going over a PA.
Sometimes he's bored. He's like, I just want to fly. They take him up in his PJ, fly him around a little bit, back to Tamiami Airport.
This is not a story from yesterday, but I did learn something while in flight about myself, and I didn't like what I saw in the mirror, which the pilot started speaking, and he had a lisp, and I felt less safe. I trusted him less, and it seemed like that was that doesn't seem fair in any way. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you feel less safe on a flight if the pilot is speaking with a lisp? Yes or no?
No, Dusty Rhodes found a way to be intimidating with the lisp.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him flying my plane, though. I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
The son of a plumber?
I would not trust Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, in flight if he started talking in the air about the Omni in Atlanta.
What other uncontrollable traits would a pilot have that you would discriminate against immediately?
Blindness would be one for me.
Yeah, eyesight. It's up there.
Would you rather have a blind pilot or a deaf pilot?
Deaf.
Deaf, yeah.
How? You can't talk to the air traffic control.
But someone could
Someone
next
else
to you
could.
and
Right.
sign to you what to do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can also have, a co-pilot that could see.
I know
I'd
it's-
rather be able to control, be in communication with the tower.
So you'd rather have him be blind and have the person next to him be like, all right, a little lower.
I know it's a Wednesday, but this one seems pretty cut
Are
and
you a
dry.
serious person today?
I think that the planes do a lot of the work, if we're going to be honest. I don't think eyesight
Not a
is
cruise ship.
first and foremost thing that you need to fly a plane. Okay. I would think communicating is a lot more difficult.
You're
with
making the
towers.
case that there's something other than sight that is most important for a pilot.
If I had to choose one or the look, this is in a world where having a lisp disqualifies you for being a pilot. I'm just going to start with that.
I didn't disqualify the pilot. I said I was ashamed of my lack of trust in the pilot. I thought it was unfair of me. I'm making a shameful admission.
And I'm saying that I would implicitly trust a blind pilot, and somehow I'm the bad guy here.
So
the one
if
that's
we're-
not discriminating based on, things that people have.
So if we're keeping score at home,
Yeah.
you're okay with the blind pilot flying a plane and a lot easier driving in the rain here in South Florida.
No, you're misrepresenting that. I told you at a certain time, driving due east into the sunrise, the driving is a lot worse than if you drive in rain.
Yeah, it's
Thank you, Greg. And we didn't even get to the government shutdown thing because I didn't want to bring politics into it, but Greg opened the door, so...
Howdy, folks. It's Mike Ryan. I want to talk to you about Game Time, the official ticketing partner of the Dan Le Batard Show. They've been on with us for quite a while, and I practice what I preach here, people. It is my go-to when I'm trying to get in-demand tickets. Why? It's got so many incredible features. It was ahead of the game. What you see is what you pay. All-in pricing, zone deals, panoramic seat views. And when I became an NFL free agent, I just wanted to see the best games in the best places. And Game Time had me so covered. They take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets. It's incredibly easy to use. And the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
What's up, guys? It's Amin, and those of you that listen to the show religiously know that I always talk about I'm not going to movie theaters anymore. There's nothing that can get me to the movie theaters. Just let me know when it comes out on streaming. Well, turns out I'm a big fat liar because one of the things that I watched in the movie theater this summer, just a couple of months ago, was The Naked Gun, and I laughed my ass off. I enjoyed it so much being there in a movie theater full of people, everybody laughing, the communal experience. But now it's on Paramount Plus, and I get to do it all over again from the comfort of my home. I'm going to grab my family. We're going to gather around. We're going to watch it. That's what you should do. You should grab your friends or your family. Watch The Naked Gun. It's hilarious. Liam Neeson kills it as Frank Drebin Jr. Yes, Frank Drebin Jr. They're continuing the legacy. There are a lot of little callbacks and Easter eggs from the old Naked Gun movies. This one right here captures that spirit, captures that comedy, and why wouldn't it? It's produced by Seth MacFarlane. You know how much I love Family Guy and American Dad. He's the producer. The director is Akiva Schaffer. You know him from SNL. He directed Popstar Never Stop Poppin'. He's hilarious. You got Pam Anderson in it. You got my man Danny Houston, aka I'm surprised. Oh my God. You have to go catch this movie on Paramount Plus. And why wouldn't you? Who doesn't like to laugh? It's fun times in your household tonight. Paramount Plus, The Naked Gun.
Fall's here. Kids are back in school, vacations are over, and cozy season is officially on. And you know what that means? Bombas season is on. I've been rocking their socks, tees, and underwear lately, and honestly, it's next level comfort. Merino wool keeps you warm but not sweating. Supima cotton is soft but tough. And that classic rag wool? That's straight up fall vibes. And it's not just socks. Bombas Sherpa lined Sunday slippers are perfect for staying in. And the EVA Friday slides, perfect for running out, grabbing coffee, or whatever. And the best part? Every item you buy, they donate one to someone experiencing homelessness. Over 150 million items donated so far. And with their happiness guarantee, if you're not loving it, they'll make it right. No risk, all reward. So yeah, treat yourself, feel good, and do something good while you're at it. Bombas has you covered this fall. Head over to bombas.com/Dan and use code DAN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Dan. Code Dan at checkout.
Don Le Batard.
My wife says this is a sexy voice.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm hard.
Thank you. Wow.
Stugotz.
So am I, actually. I don't know why.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Thank you for not bringing politics into it. I saw a really wonderful movie last night that gets a low rating. No, not on the plane. I was not flying yesterday. It was a really good, artful movie, and it surprised me a number of different ways. Ari Aster is a great director, and he makes horror and doesn't want to totally be making horror, but he makes dark comedy horror, and Eddington is the name of the movie, and it got a low rating, I think, only because politics will end up being something that knocks 30 points off of any movie's ratings immediately, no matter what the politics of the movie are. So
it's a name for a movie.
It's Joaquin Phoenix, it's Pedro Pascal, and it's Emma Stone in it. And I will say that
a movie in a while, Pedro Pascal.
Ozzy Odzer makes movies? Ari Odzer?
Not that. The NBC guy.
He's good. I've seen him act.
He loves
You've
Greg
seen him
Cody.
act?
Yeah, he's good. Yeah. He's really good. Ari Aster. Yeah, he does commercials for like geriatrics.
That's the guy keeping my dad in the local news scene.
Even though he's younger than me, Ari.
Are they like? Is that a destination? Like when you're like a local person, like let me get to the geriatric commercials.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or are like you sad when you get there? Like oof.
Hey,
like Lori
it's
Jennings.
it's easy money.
Yep.
It's easy money. Nobody talks to me about it, but I'd do it in a heartbeat.
What did Lori Jennings do? Leon Medical Centers?
Did she?
Yeah.
Yep. Billboards and everything.
The movie Eddington is a slow burn. I don't know why. I have no problem whatsoever burning through 8 episodes of Black Rabbit, which cost me 8 hours. But if you tell me sit in front of a television for a 2.5-hour movie, I'm like, don't know if I want to do that. It's 2.5 hours. And the first 2 hours are a slow burn, but it escalates. The last half hour is totally crazy. It's an insane half hour at the end of that movie that I would recommend to anyone listening to this.
It's becoming Ari Aster's signature.
Tell us more about your friendship with what Chris Cody says is the media member keeping you alive. Ron McGill does this very well. Places a few media friendships to keep his career alive at the end. And Greg Cody speaks well of Ari Aster.
If Ari Aster needs a sports story covered, Greg Cody's his man.
Ari Aster's great. He's a legend in this market. Nobody does it like him. He's the best.
I saw that Channel 7 is still running out DePasquale and Drew Rosenhaus.
Yep.
And who else? There's somebody else on that.
Josh Moser. He's the other guy.
No, the black guy.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Donovan Campbell?
Thank you.
He's
I
got
had
a
to help
name.
you.
He could fly a plane, Dan.
I couldn't place his name.
Does he have a lisp?
The black guy.
I'm an Ellen.
I couldn't place his name. That was the problem that I had. And when I gave you the black guy, you gave me his name as opposed to Zaslow, who didn't give me the right guy. He gave me the guy who was distinctly not black. So when I gave you the descriptive adjective, you helped me find the name that I was looking for. Local news, local sports news. I was surprised to see Drew Rosenhaus saying that. I wonder if this Sunday he'll be saying that Tyreek Hill is totally fine. He said the surgery was fine yesterday. I don't understand the contract, Greg. It's a muddled contract with Tyreek Hill, and he's not guaranteed the $36 million. And that is why I would tell you those football contracts are super bogus. And if you've read about Tyreek Hill's life off the field, you know that he has a great many payments to a great many women that he has to make because of how irresponsible he is off of the field. And him not being able to get that $36 million, that is a truly catastrophic injury when you don't guarantee that money. Have you read anything about the contract details? Because it's a weird, confusing, muddied contract for Tyreek Hill to extend with Miami, to be at the height of his value, to find real superstardom in Miami and leaving Kansas City and have none of that money guaranteed next year. So when that happens to him, it's not merely a catastrophic injury for him. It's not merely a catastrophic injury for the Dolphins and all their architecture. It's a catastrophic financial injury because there is no way that Tyreek Hill coming off his leg looking that way is going to get good money after that.
No, I mean, contracts are reworked all the time, and I think this one will be. I think they want to keep him. It was encouraging that Drew Rosenhaus said flatly that he will play in 2026.
That doesn't mean anything.
What do you expect him to say?
It doesn't mean anything.
I think it
He's
means,
toast. I think he might play by the
something.
end of this season after hearing Drew talk, to be honest with you.
I think it does mean something. I don't think you put that kind of pressure on your athlete unless you know that the surgery went well, that there was only one surgery needed, there's no nerve damage. There were encouraging signs. But Tyreek Hill has to read the market right now. He's going to be 32 next year coming off this injury. He's going to lose a step. I don't think there's
Why would you believe the agent on this? Why would you believe that agent on this? What else is he going to say?
He's going to vague it up. He's going to say the surgery went successful. The plan is that we're going to play next season.
Greg,
we don't know if he'll be ready for training camp.
Greg,
but
you saw his leg. You saw his leg.
I know.
How can you make any sort of assessment about where he'll be in 6 months or a year when his leg, it doesn't look like a human leg?
Okay, I can't, and neither can you.
No, but I can doubt it. You can't tell me that you're going to take Drew Rosenhaus's word for it.
Okay, I can doubt it too. That's why yesterday I said that I thought there was a chance his career might be over, and I still think there's a chance of that. And I don't trust an agent. I know Drew a little bit, but I don't trust him because I don't trust agents. But you can vague it up as well, and he was pretty clear about that. And
the words don't mean anything. Today, nobody's going to remember. Like, that's what he's got to do and say for his client, and that's all he's doing it for.
Okay, Drew Rosenhaus has done something that you and I haven't. He has actually spoken to the doctors. He has gotten firsthand information on what the medical prognosis is, and he's relaying that. Now, you can choose to not believe that.
It's not a credible source. It's just not a credible source.
The doctor's not.
No, the agent's not. He's biased. I don't even trust the words to get from the doctor to the agent and be the same.
Okay.
The agent is totally biased. He's not credible.
Did the doctor have a lisp?
That's a great question.
What are the contract details that are muddied here that make this?
So his contract's kind of weird. First of all, he's owed $36 million next year. None of it is guaranteed. Doesn't even matter injury-wise. So I'm not so sure, especially coming off of the events of Tyreek Hill at the end of last year, and this year, what is clearly not going to be a good season, even if Tyreek Hill didn't get hurt. I don't know that the Dolphins were keeping him next year anyway, all right? But the $36 million is fully non-guaranteed, doesn't even matter about injury. So you would assume that they are going to cut him. But here's where it gets kind of weird. He's owed throughout this year $1.8 million in per-game roster bonuses. So if the Dolphins, and he's got, what are we talking, 13 more of those payments coming his way, if he were active, all right? If the Dolphins cut him at the end of the season, he doesn't get any of that money because, hey, you weren't active. You didn't play in those final 13 games. If the Dolphins actually cut him right now, he will get that money, $1.5 million that's left of it. They will save a little bit of money, the Dolphins. Obviously a dirty move if you cut him right now, but they won't have to owe him. They would then be paying him the rest of the season. It'll be like doing him a solid, essentially, if they cut him now. So it's a little bit weird, his contract. But I would go back to what Greg just said, where, Drew Rosenhaus can say that he's going to be ready now for next season because he doesn't need the additional surgery. If he needed the additional surgeries, Drew can't come out and say we expect him to be ready for next season. But because he doesn't, Drew says that because when the Dolphins cut him, it's out there so that another team isn't like, oh, but Drew said that he's going to be okay. He's going to be ready. So, Drew's likely, he doesn't know. I'm not going to say he's full of shit because maybe he will be ready, maybe he won't be ready. But because he doesn't need the extra surgery, Drew can come out and portray it as if his client is going to be ready.
He's biased, he's compromised, and he's incentivized. For his own business. It's not even his client. He's incentivized to say he's going to be fine to the league.
Forget playing for the Dolphins, forget playing for other NFL teams. is he going to make it to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia by the end of March for Tom Brady's Fanatics flag football competition?
How much is he making for that?
They have not announced what they're making, but all the announced players that were as a part of this press release did receive front-end permission from their NFL teams. Now, that can change, especially if the Dolphins intend to keep Tyreek Hill. They can say there's no way that you're going to do this. I guess medically, there might be no way he can make a March flag football tournament anyways.
He'll be.
But it's a big payday.
I'm going to report exclusively. I feel like he's going to be there.
Can you guys find out for me if Tom Brady is indeed getting the number that people are saying, which is $75 million to participate in that? I don't know what the reporting is on that. I've just heard people say that number again and again, and I find it really hard to believe, even with the way the Saudis are spilling blood money in order to launder that money through sports.
I know Dave Portnoy went out and said that that's how much he was making, and Brady retweeted it saying that was not true.
Come on. I know this is going to sound stupid when I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't understand how the Saudis have all this money.
It's just oil.
It's just, but it's they have like an endless amount of money.
Because they've got so much oil.
Right. How does Jerry Jones have all that money?
No, but Jerry Jones, like there is a limit. Like Jerry Jones, there is a limit, all right? The Saudis, it's the golf, and it's the flag football, and it's the WWE, and they just have money for everything.
We all need oil. We don't have The reason that Elon Musk is so rich is because he's providing an alternative, possibly in the future, to us not needing that amount of oil.
What are you laughing at there, Chuckles?
You don't understand how the Saudis have that much money?
It's an endless amount of money. I don't understand.
Yeah, literally
the most oil. They export the most oil.
The oil keeps coming.
And in this country, we've signed executive orders to kind of limit ulterior forms of electricity, such as wind, solar. The EV credits are gone. We declared a national oil emergency in this country.
So they get to just do and have whatever they want.
That's correct.
That's
you just learn about money?
There's no limit.
Not whatever they want. They offered an amount to Tiger Woods to join Live Golf that dwarfs what they offered Tom Brady, and Tiger Woods said no. So they don't always get what they want, but they usually do.
Everyone but Tiger.
Yeah.
No, Shane Gillis, too. Shane Gillis refused their money. He was one of the comedians.
What do you think about that one, Dan? You're in a real classic pickle here. A patented
My
pickle
movie theater
here.
sells pickles, dog.
Yeah, how much?
$2.99.
That's a good deal.
It's a lot of money for a pickle.
So truth teller and beacon of philosopher, modern day guy that Dan loves, Bill Burr, took the money. And Shane Gillis, who you've described as one of Joe Rogan's cronies, said, no, not for me, dog.
Well, you guys said earlier this week that we were a little hard on Phil Mickelson, and I don't think we were a little hard on Phil Mickelson. I think he opened the door for everyone else to be greedy and cowardly about this as well. And some people will stand up for the principles, and most people will just grab at the money. Because
plus, Shane Gillis has got a little progressive in him.
They bonesawed a journalist, okay? And I understand that there are all sorts of human rights violations that America is also responsible for, but that's not money. That's blood money.
So the Saudis never check their bank account. It's just nonstop money.
Thursday Night Football's on, and it's only on Prime Video. This week, NFC West rivals meet again as the San Francisco 49ers visit the Los Angeles Rams, a massive game in the NFC West. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with football's best party, TNF Tonight. Not a Prime member? Not a problem. Simply sign up for a 30-day free trial. It's the 49ers and Rams, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.